What's up guys, it's Ed from TechSource and welcome to Setup Wars episode 60. Is this? So what happens when I try and wear a new shirt? Lesson learned. What's up guys, it's Ed from TechSource and welcome to Setup Wars episode 61 Ultrawide edition, where pretty much you get the idea. If you guys have a pretty sweet setup and want to participate in Setup Wars, make sure to watch the video linked below. But ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, let the Setup Wars begin. Never pay full price for games ever again, guys. G2A offers the cheapest CD keys you can find anywhere. Check them out by clicking on the link below. As always, you guys can find the links to everyone's gear for their setups linked down below, along with anything I recommend in this episode. So, here are your 5 lucky contestants for this week. We have Carson, David, Doug, Janek, and Mark. Congratulations for making it on the show. So starting off the episode is Carson and his Stormtrooper themed setup. We have a 34-inch LG monitor, a Razer Black Widow tournament keyboard, and a Razer Mamba sporting white LEDs to match the black and white color scheme. Also on the desk, we have a Stormtrooper resting on top of the Klipsch docking station, and right next to that we have his PC, which has a 4690K and an AMD R9 Fury X. Great choice on the PC case as well. You've done a great job keeping the color scheme very consistent. Hanging from the Brainwaves truss, we have his Razer 7.1 Chroma headset, and this entire desk is wall mounted, which kinda sucks for cable management. Speaking of which, I don't really see any wires under your desk, so I can't give you any recommendations. Where are you hiding them exactly? A very clean and well coordinated setup. Thank you, Carson, for entering. David is next up with a fairly clean setup. So we have a 34-inch Acer Predator, and oh look, more Razer gear. We have a Black Widow Chroma keyboard and a Razer Ouroboros mouse on top of the Razer Firefly mousepad. I think that this is also the first setup that has a left-handed user. Interesting. Also on the desk we have a Brainwaves Gypsum or Gibson headphone stand holding up the Sennheiser HD650 headphones, which also has an Antlion mod mic attachment. Now that's a pretty sweet headphone setup. And on the opposite side of the desk, we have the Creative Sound Blaster X7 USB DAC and amp. I gotta say, your audio game is definitely strong. Excellent choices on the gear. Cable management, on the other hand, looks clean. We have the usual Signum rack holding up most of the wires, and it looks like you used some Velcro straps to wrap the PC cables together with the desk legs. Very good job. It's a shame that you have to put your PC on the ground. This is a very good looking build, rocking a 6700K and an Asus Titan X graphics card. For the most part, this is a very clean setup with minor stuff on the desk, and for that I would recommend a pencil drawer that you can install under the desk to keep your pen, notebook, and coasters when you're not using them. But overall, a very organized and clean setup. Thank you, David, for entering. On to our third ultra-wide setup from Doug. He's rocking a 29-inch from Samsung, and below that we have the Razer Chroma keyboard and Logitech MX Master mouse on top of the Reflex Lab extended mousepad. For the desk, he's using the Ikea Linnmon glossy tabletop and 2 Alex drawer units as the legs. I definitely like the black and white contrast. Sandwiching the monitors are a pair of Bose Companion 2 speakers, and to the right side is his PC with another S340 case. So inside here we have a 4460 paired with a GTX 760. Cable management, on the other hand, looks good. I mean, the wires appear to be wrapped together using some Velcro, and everything is pushed off to the right and away from sight. We also have a power strip that's hooked up on the roof of the desk. So overall, I think you did a pretty decent job. Now here's the thing, since the cables are behind the drawer and away from sight, you really didn't need to use 3M tape and keep it off the ground. It would have been a lot easier to just buy a cable box and put everything inside and leave it down on the ground. You won't be able to see it from the front anyways. Regardless, this is a very clean and simple setup. Thank you, Doug, for entering. At number 4, we have Janek and his white and green setup. So we have a pair of Mackie CR4 speakers sandwiching the 34-inch LG monitor, which is resting on top of the Alex add-on unit. On the desk, we have the SteelSeries Apex keyboard and Rival mouse combo on top of the Corsair extended mousepad. And apart from the Bear Dynamic Custom 1 Pro headphones, there's really not much else on here. Well, except for a wireless keyboard under the riser. Cable management though is very clean. I do like the fact that you use several cable sleeves to hide the cables in, especially the PC wires. Speaking of which, he has an FX 6300 and an R9 280X powering this setup. The only thing I would change about this setup is the lighting. Maybe add one more Philips Hue bulb on the left side to balance the lighting, because right now the entire right side is too bright. Other than that minor tweak, this is a pretty sweet setup. Thank you, Janek, for entering. Last but not least, we have Mark and his dual 20 29-inch LG Ultrawide setup because a single Ultrawide is too mainstream. The displays are hooked up to a monitor arm, and below that we have the Logitech G710 keyboard and Logitech G502 mouse. Also on the desk we have the Logitech G633 headset, a Bose SoundLink mini speaker, and a wireless charger from Samsung. Keeping the black and red theme consistent, we have red LEDs in the back, as well as some black and red acoustic foams, much like my setup. The PC that's powering the setup has an FX 8350 and an R9 390X inside the NZXT Noctis 450 case. I haven't seen this many AMD parts in a single episode of Setup Wars ever. I sense that AMD is making a comeback. Cable management, on the other hand, is very clean. You manage to wrap everything together and keep it off the ground, all without using a Signum rack. Job well done. The only minor changes I recommend are getting a headphone hanger for your headset and height adjustment for the right monitor, since it's slightly higher than the left. Also, a quick tip for everyone that's submitting their setup. Please show off your desktop wallpaper and only your wallpaper. Nobody wants to see your browser open. Look how much better your setup looks with matching wallpapers. Other than those minor tweaks, this is a very fine black and red setup. Thank you, Mark, for entering. But that will do it for this episode of Setup Wars. As always, drop your comments down below and vote on who you think as the best desk setup. As always, I will announce the winners on Sunday on my Twitter and InstaFail accounts. Make sure to follow me if you care. As always, if you guys enjoy Setup Wars and want me to continue doing these every single Monday, make sure to hit that like button to show your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.